They've got an important Premier League game against Manchester United at the weekend.
We can try to look ahead, but what is coming and what is relevant is the next match. And sometimes we've been thinking a lot about the future, the next week or 2-3 weeks times, and something happens that you have to adapt to the circumstances. So go game by game, enjoy the journey that we are in, because it's great.
How important is it then for you that you've got a top 8 finish, so you don't have the 2 extra games?
That's massive. We know that, and if we win tomorrow, we know that that's going to be the case. So let's make it happen.
Right, okay, Jamie. So Arsenal, they've looked a little bit of tiredness in recent weeks. Should Arteta be rotating more?
Well, he's got a squad too. You know, he's got. You know, I think I watched the Nottingham Forest game. I think after an hour he made 5 changes, and the players that come on were top class. So, you know, he can make changes. The players are there to obviously rotate. You know, but look, it was a point gained. I think. You know, Man City get beat. Nottingham Forest fighting for their lives. They're they're a good side. They go there and get a point away from home. It's 7 points. What more do you want? You know, they're 7 points at the top of the table. I think they've done an unbelievable job. They're not going to run away with it. Arsenal are a really good side. You know, and there have been moments this season where they haven't been great, but they ground out results. Now, you know, you're not going to do that every week, and I've said it. You know, they haven't blown teams away. There's probably been 4 or 5 games where I've watched Arsenal and gone, wow, what a team. But a lot of their performances have been resilient, hard to beat, set pieces, you know, not conceding goals, strong in the middle of the park, Declan Rice being a leader, captains all over the park. And that's why they're top of the league. They're not a breathtaking team to watch, but they know how to get results. And you know, throughout the season, you're going to come up against some teams where it doesn't quite go your way, doesn't quite happen on the night. They've got the best squad though, Tom. The squad's brilliant. Yeah, well, Manuel Akanji's on loan at Inter Milan from Manchester City. This is what he said about Arsenal.
I think Arsenal is one of the best teams in Europe. For me, they're not the best team at the moment, but they're definitely up there. In my opinion, the best team in Europe at the moment is Bayern. They play really good football. They score so many goals. I've seen the goal difference that they had to how much they scored, and also the ones that they concede.
Are Bayern Munich the best team in Europe? Arsenal did beat them 3-1, and Arsenal are top of the Champions League group, 3 points ahead of them.
Yeah, I can't agree with that. I'm sorry. I mean, I watched Arsenal play Bayern, absolutely battered them, blew them out of the water. So, you know, and I think we've seen teams, Bayern Munich playing in a league which ain't anywhere near the standard of the Premier League. And don't get me wrong, they've got some brilliant players and they're a force to be reckoned with. But Arsenal, I watched that game against Arsenal, put them to the sword. They were way better than Bayern Munich. So I think there's levels to the league of the Premier League. And I think right now you'd have to say that Arsenal are the strongest team in Europe. They really are.
Right, that will have been difficult for you to say, Jamie. So
I'm going to go and be sick.
Appreciate that. Tonight, there's an opportunity to rest players.
Morning, guys. I think we can make a few changes. I wouldn't go wholesale. I think it's still a big game. You know, top of the Premier League versus top of the Italian league. So yeah, you don't want to go out there, rest too many players, change too much, upset the system, and lose. It's still a big game in terms of stature of the game. Like I said, top of the Prem against top of Italy. But in terms of where we've put ourselves in the Champions League, we can afford, you know, maybe to drop points. I think we just need one more win and then we're guaranteed first. So, yeah, you can rest a couple of players. I think I'll play Eze tonight. I think I'd rest Timber. He's been playing far too many games. He's been playing at left back as well recently. So I think I'll bring Miles Lewis-Skelly back in. Maybe you could rest Rice, maybe play a Norgard or a Marino in there. A chance to rest a couple of players, and obviously a massive game against United on the weekend as well. So one eye on that, but like I said, you also don't want to get turned over tonight.
Is Manuel Akanji right that Bayern Munich are the best team in Europe and not you?
He can have his opinion. Look, I know it took a lot for Jamie just then to say that he thinks Arsenal are. I said Arsenal were, I think after the Atletico Madrid game, just from what I've seen. I've been watching Arsenal for a long time. This is the best version of Arsenal I've seen in my kind of adult life. Like, I'm 29 years old. I don't really remember the Invincibles. So in terms of the Emirates era Arsenal, this is the best I've seen. Whether they're the best in Europe or not, it doesn't actually matter. You know, all that matters is at the end of the season, we're lifting silverware, Premier Leagues, Champions Leagues, whatever it is, Carabao Cups. So, in 20 years, I don't want to say to my kids, oh, Arsenal were the best team in the world in December and January of 2025, 26. Like, I want to say we lifted a Premier League trophy in May of 2026. That's what actually matters.
Is there a little bit of a worry that you are reliant very much this season on set pieces? I've watched games where you've blown teams away, I get that, and you do create some chances. But you are reliant on set pieces. Now, that's great in the Premier League, and I've come round to the fact that you are probably going to win it. When you get to the latter stages of the Champions League, you come up against, I don't know, Real Madrid, PSG, Bayern Munich, in over 2 legs. You need to focus more on scoring from outfield play, or do you think you're happy just to have set piece FC?
I wouldn't say we're necessarily, I wouldn't say reliant. There's been a lot of games this season where we haven't just relied on set pieces. I think something like 21 or 22 of our last 27 Premier League goals have been from open play. So it's not a reliance. Have there been games where we haven't scored from set pieces and then we haven't won the game? People are saying, oh, they've only not won the game because they haven't scored from a set piece. Yes. But it's kind of a superpower of ours. Having a player like Declan Rice, who's so good from a dead ball like he is, whether it's a corner, a free kick from an angle which is whipped in, whether it's Saka on the left, that's quality in the squad. I think that's what people are missing. We're not cheating. We're not doing something that no one else can do. Manchester United take corners. Man City take. Every team in the Premier League.
No, you're the best at it. You're the best at it.
Corners. Exactly that. So I don't think there's an over-reliance at all. I think especially when we play against low blocks, we need to find another way to win a lot of the time. Sometimes the quality in the front third lets us down, and the set pieces are the way we unlock defences sometimes. So I don't think there's an over-reliance on it at all. I think we still have a lot of quality in the front line.
I don't know if you remember, Tom, and Chelsea won the Champions League with Thomas Tuchel, and they were a resilient side. They weren't great to watch, but they were resilient, hard to beat, hard to break down. I think the problem you're going to have, Arsenal, is over 2 legs, they are hard to beat, especially at the Emirates. So everyone else, saying problem is a problem for me because I'm a Spurs fan. But Arsenal could go right to the end of this Champions League because of how good you are defensively.
I think so. Yeah, tournament football is obviously different. We saw England under Gareth Southgate. It wasn't the best to watch, but what you could do was set up a good unit, defend well, not concede many chances. And I think Arsenal's not similar to Gareth Southgate, I wouldn't say that, but in terms of a defensive unit, in terms of quality defensively, not allowing shots on target, not conceding a lot of goals. If you're playing 2 legs against this Arsenal team, you're going to struggle to create a lot of chances. So, yeah, you back us in tournament football over 2 legs, and in the Premier League we're doing the job as well.
Yeah, this weekend it is Premier League against Manchester United. I think we can call them resurgent after they won the derby. How worried are you about that game?
I watched that game. I thought United were absolutely brilliant. One of the best United performances I've seen in maybe 10, 15, in a long, long time. Genuinely, they could have scored 4 or 5 goals against Manchester City. Obviously had 3 offside goals as well. And I just think, you've got to give respect to what Carrick did. He's only been in the job a couple of days and he already outclassed Pep Guardiola. So, I wouldn't say I'm worried about them coming to the Emirates. I think it'll be a very different game. I think we'll set up a bit more compact in the midfield. I thought Man City allowed them a bit too much space to get on the ball, especially Mainu, I thought was brilliant on the day. And on the counter-attack, Man United just cut them open every single time. I don't think we'll really get caught out like that. I think it will be a game of finer margins. I don't think it'll be as open and as many chances. I think Arteta will watch that game and think we can't let it get to that, because United have quality, and Burmo and Cunha obviously coming off the bench and these kind of guys. So I think it will maybe be a bit of a boring game. But I think I'll back us to find a way to win that.
Yeah. Okay, Jamie, just finally, very quickly, how worried are you now that Arsenal are going to win the title? Because all this season, all the guests, with the exception of Jay Bothroyd, have said, no, Manchester City will come good. It'll be Manchester City. But yesterday, Darren McAnthony said he's starting to waver a little bit. What about you?
Have you got a white flag? Because I'm starting to. I think it's time to wave it, Tom. I think it's time to wave it. I'm going to have to swallow it. I'm going to have to move to Dubai. And I'm never going to be seen again. People will love it, but I think Arsenal are going to win. I think they're going to win the league. Man City have stumbled too much. There's too many points to make up, and I just don't see Arsenal losing that amount of games.
Right, there are still.
Is this the first time we said that? Is that
it is the first time, mate. And I'm hoping Man United, do your 3-0, but I just can't see it.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, quite the revelation there, Christian. People, I've noticed that a lot of people are starting to now change their mind and have more confidence in Arsenal doing it. But Christian, thank you.
What do you mean? You're 7 points ahead. You have two teams that can be in the top 4. You put money on the table. We kept our coach. We're going to talk, and we see obviously a lot of coaches that are getting the sack or the people don't trust. It looked like that we were right to keep that manager. Is doing extremely well. Obviously, I'm going to repeat myself. You put money on the table. You're 7 points ahead. What do you want to be? 30 points ahead, and then you want the league. You want to win the league already now. We are doing extremely well. We asked Mikel Arteta to find a way to be above Liverpool and Man City. If they're not following with Villa, that's on them. Look at what you're doing and what you can do, however you want to do it. I know a lot of people are talking about set pieces and, not a lot of chances created and whatnot. We asked him to find a way to win. We still didn't. But that's what he's doing.